Hey everyone, it's Stanley here from Lion's Tooth Wellness, and I wanted to touch base with all of you about our Panchakarma Petite cleanse, which is coming up starting on March 3rd. I've been getting lots of emails and questions from some folks just about the grocery list and about the commitment and just wanting a little bit more details around the cleanse. Well, first and foremost, people are worried that they can't start right on the 3rd. That's not a problem. All of these videos and emails will be pre-recorded and sent to you every single day of the 10 days. You can open them right away and start your cleanse on the 3rd with me, or you can certainly wait and start when it's convenient for you. Knowing that it is best if you do the whole 10 days together. You really can't break them up once you've started. So that is up to you. You start whenever you want, bearing in mind that you'll miss out on the live opportunity to connect with me on the 8th, which is halfway through our cleanse, which I'll be doing on Facebook to kind of do a live chat session with anyone who needs support. But other than that, you can certainly always email me with questions throughout any time that you're doing your own personal cleanse if you decide to start at a later date. So as far as the grocery list goes, some folks are looking at it and kind of feeling overwhelmed, like, wow, like I thought this was a shortened cleanse, now I feel like I can't really commit to this. Well, if you really look at it, it's not that big of a deal. I want to say that it's not even longer than most grocery lists. And when you think about it, you're prepping yourself for the week. So it's really like any other shopping trip, only we're focusing on doing a cleanse. So a lot of these foods and supportive herbs and whatnot that you get, you can use again and again and again. It's not just for these 10 days. So think about it as your investment. A lot of these sort of ghee and sesame oil and a tongue scraper, these are all things that are actually really awesome to include on a regular day basis. So even though it seems like a lot of these things you'll be able to use again and again and again, and we'll talk about that more as we go into our cleanse. But I wanted to just kind of go through the grocery list, explain things to you a little bit more in depth to give you a better idea of why you need all this stuff. And to let you know that honestly, when you're buying whole foods, especially like we're doing veggies and whole grains and whatnot, it's so much cheaper, I promise you, than buying things that are processed and bagged and boxed. And they keep. So I promise you, this is a really good investment to have, and I promise you it's not going to be overwhelming. It's just for the 10 days. Bear in mind that yes, 10 days is a chunk of time to commit, but you will feel amazing, I promise you. So you are worth the 10 days to set this time aside. And when we organize it in a way and we kind of prep ourselves in a way that I'm going to support you through during this 10 days, it's going to be easy peasy, I promise. In some ways, I mean, cleanses are always a little bit challenging because we're cleaning house, we're setting the reset button back on our bodies, minds, and spirits, and that, of course, comes with its challenges, but it's always very much worth it. So let me pull up my list here. So we're starting with some white basmati rice. You can find it at any natural food store. Even Hannaford's will sell it in the bulk section. Look for organic, of course. About at least 3 cups of white rice there. Mung dal you can find in those big, they kind of look like split peas, but they're called mung dal beans, and they come in the big plastic, like 1 pound bags. Again, that will last you, probably after the cleanse as well. So you want one of those bags, organic if you can find it. Got a bunch of spices here. Go to your natural health food store for this because you can get spices by bulk and save a lot more money than buying those glass spice jars that are usually a lot more expensive. So check your bulk sections for any Whole Foods or just any natural food store that has a bulk herb section or bulk spice section. You'll be able to find it there and just get the amount you need. Real sea salt. So real sea salt should have a little bit of color to it. It shouldn't be bleached white. So real sea salt, it's the name brand of sea salt, is one of my favorites, but you can get lots of different varieties. Again, looking for a hint of gray or a hint of pink or speckled sort of brown and black colors within the salt. You know you've got the good stuff that has high minerals and vitamins still intact with it, and that's what we want to be taking into our bodies. It's a lot more beneficial for us to be using salt of that kind. And a lot of these things you can get online too if you have the time to do it. You've got a week or so you can certainly do that. Organic lemons and limes. Ghee, so ghee, I have ghee here. This is basically clarified butter. You can certainly make your own. That's another thing to put onto your list though if you want to do it that way. It's totally up to you. Again, natural food stores will carry this. It's basically just butter with the fat taken out of it. So it's just the other good stuff from butter, because butter is good for you, healthy fats. Let's see, organic virgin coconut oil. Now, if you want to just keep it simple, and this is totally fine with me, I have unrefined sesame oil and I have unrefined virgin coconut oil back to back here. You could just go with one. I love sesame. In fact, you can just buy the sesame oil and just keep it at that, knowing that you'll need twice as much of the sesame oil, and then skip the coconut oil. The coconut oil is going to be for oil pulling, which we'll talk about what that means. Basically it's going to be for swooshing, like mouthwash, only we're using coconut oil, and it does wonders. We'll learn about that more. But you can do that with sesame oil. So if you want to kind of cut one element out of the list, you can certainly do that. Or if you want to keep it separate, like I've offered it, you can do that too. Tongue scraper. This is my tongue scraper. There's lots of different kinds. There's not really a right or wrong one to use, as long as it's not, there's no bristles on it. Some companies buy, or sell rather, tongue scrapers that have brushes on it, like it's a toothbrush. Don't get that kind. It's just going to hold bacteria in the bristles. So look for something that is like this. There's wire ones. I've linked one on the page on the site here. So tongue scraper, they're super cheap. You can get them at natural food stores as well. Skin brush. I forgot to bring my skin brush down, but it's basically, it looks like, you know, like a regular like bath brush that you would use to, you know, brush your back in the tub or whatnot, one of those old school, you know, scrubbing brushes that you might use in the shower, but you use it before the shower. So again, I have a link to show you the actual picture of a skin brush, but again, any natural food store, they're not expensive. I've got mine for like 10, 12 bucks. Again, you'll have it for a lifetime. Neti pot. This is your savior for so many things. It is such an awesome investment. Please get a neti pot. We'll talk more about the details of this later as well. Triphala powder. So triphala powder, and again, if you know your friend who's going to be doing this cleanse with you, you know, you can go shopping together. You can order online together and split, you know, the cost of whatever you're getting, because bulk is always cheaper, obviously. But this is triphala powder, so it's going to be a powdered brown sort of color here. You can get it online, but you can also get it at natural food stores. Make sure you get the powder though. They'll sell it in capsule and tablet. You want the powder, okay? The rest is really just what we're going to be eating for the 10 days. So we're really focusing on vegetarian eating, vegetable protein eating. We're not going to be doing lots of tofu or anything like that, so don't worry about it. But we're focusing on things that are super nourishing, super balancing for all body types, and foods that are going to just allow our bodies to take a rest and regroup and be able to get all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals it needs to, you know, keep working hard, but also give it a break so it can release things that might be stuck and gummed up in our system to let go of as well. So these things are just kind of an assortment of veggies that are going to be balancing for all the body types. So these are just ones to kind of hold in mind. I'm going to send you more specific recipes that you can choose from that are going to be involving all of these vegetables and whatnot. So I don't have the details on those yet, but they're going to, basically I'm just giving you a rundown of the possibilities that you'll be able to choose, because it's up to you. I want to give you guys variety, because I'm definitely one that I get really sick of eating the same darn thing. And these will be recipes that will keep 2 to 3 days, so you'll only have to make a couple of them, because the other, I can't decide yet. We're either doing 2 or 3 days of what's called a mono diet, and this mono diet meaning something that we'll eat 3 times a day for 2 days. I know, it sounds boring, but it's like the home run that's really going to push you through this cleanse. It's called khichdi, and it's basically, at the top of our list, we're looking at basmati rice and the mung dal. That's what it is, with lots of spices and lots of other good stuff to put into it. It's basically has everything we need to balance our bodies out, to give us enough protein, enough nutrients to get through our days, and again, give our bodies that extra oomph to let it know that it has time to cleanse and flush. It's a really powerful food. It's very nourishing. It's not, some people love it, some people hate it. I'm kind of in the middle, but we're only doing it for 2 days, okay? So it's really awesome. You're going to feel great, I promise you. Your taste buds are going to be like born again, and you'll like taste things after the khichdi that you've never even, you know, don't even remember them tasting that way, because everything will just be so clean and just so revitalized. And then of course maple syrup or honey, that's totally up to you. Those are my sweeteners of choice that I'll be using for the days before the khichdi, for breakfast cereals and whatnot, for sweetening tea, things like that. And then we get down to the herbs. So the herbs are huge components in a really gentle, supportive action of, again, just flushing the body. It's not like you're going to be, you know, like a crazy laxative where you're running to the restroom and that sort of flushing, but it's going to be basically just cleansing your blood, cooling inflammation, infusing you with tons of minerals, tons of vitamins that your body's just going to be so excited to receive. And it's just going to aid in the functioning of this really gentle, potent cleanse. So these are all ones that are specifically energizing and detoxing, but not in the sense that, again, it's going to be a shock to your system. They're going to be just really, really supportive herbs. So dandelion root, burdock root. Nettle leaf is a huge one for energy, especially if you're a coffee drinker, so that's one I'm going to really hone in on for the caffeine addicts out there, which, hey, we all have our stuff. Oat tops is another herb that's specific to energy as well as just the nervous system support, which is a huge one for a lot of us. And then I added an extra here, Dandy Blend. Dandy Blend, again, all of these can be found at natural health food stores or bought online. I have links for those options. And again, in the bulk section. So you don't have to buy the already made pressed tea bags. You look for the bulk section. You get, you know, I have a cup, half a cup for most of these. You can measure them out at the store. Put them in little plastic baggies. Get a tea ball or even a tea infuser. This is a tea infuser where basically the top of this has little, my sister-in-law got this for me. It's really awesome. So you can see that there's little holes there so that the loose tea is in the bottom half. The top half is just holes, so the perforations, so that when I drink it, none of the leaves, well, some of the leaves come through, but not much. So it's a regular liquid, and I'm not like swallowing the actual whole herb. So you can find lots of different tea diffusers as well. Some of them, again, are linked here, I believe. If not, I'll add that to it if I've missed it. But Dandy Blend is for those of you who just love coffee, not necessarily for just the energy it gives you, but for the flavor. Dandy Blend is a coffee substitute made with roasted dandelion root, which is really yummy, and it gives you some of that richness. You can add a little creamer to it or whatnot to kind of aid you through whittling out that portion of the elimination part of our cleanse. So that's for those of you who just really love that ritual and enjoyment of the coffee. But again, remember, we're only doing a 10-day cleanse here, so you can do it. And then a yoga mat, any sort of workout mat will do. We'll be doing some light yoga during this cleanse as well. And then I have some other options here, essential oils. Again, you don't have to do this. These are just added little fun perks if you have the time to do it as well. So yes, I've got a long list for you, but I promise you that it's a total investment, not just for this week, but for the weeks to come, to keep on this self-care and this self-support of just a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to talk about all these things a lot more in depth as we begin our cleanse. But I wanted to just touch base with you and to answer some of those questions and let you know that you're right, it is a commitment, but I promise you, if you can dedicate yourself to these 10 days, you will come out of this feeling amazing and so glad that you did, and having these tools to bring with you again, maybe next year when you feel like doing a cleanse again. So it's totally worthwhile. Look at this grocery list as any other grocery list for the week. It's going to give you everything that you need for this week, and it's a total investment, and I promise you it's going to be worth every penny, and it's not as much as you think. Buying Whole Foods, buying things that you have to cook and prepare are a lot cheaper than a lot of the processed pre-made foods that we're already shopping for. And a lot of these things will keep. The neti pot, the ghee, the oils, the tongue scraper, the triphala, all the herbs, you'll be able to use again and again, all the spices. So it's a worthwhile investment. I'm so excited that you guys have showed up and signed up for this cleanse. It's going to be amazing. So until March 3rd, I will leave you with this, and please feel free to post questions below the video if you have more for me. I'm hoping to get out the specific recipes of the veggie foods we'll be eating before we do the mono diet, either today or tomorrow, so you'll be getting emails from me pretty soon. All right, well, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you all on the 3rd. Okay, bye-bye.